There are different segments in the law court, and for so many persons, they don't have issues with the criminal segment of the court. However, quite a number of persons have issues with the probate section of the court. So today, I would like to touch on the pertinent issues, things that come up or things that spring up from the probate section of the court. Basically, you have two documents, strong documents that come out from the probate section. You have the probate and you also have the LA. If you hear people say LA, they're just saying letter of administration. But today, I'll be touching on the probate, not the letter of administration. Now, the probate would not be useful or be talked about if there is no will. If someone dies intestate, meaning the person did not write will, then we'll be talking about the letter of administration. But I'm talking about the person that died with a will written down before he passed or before she passed. So if you have a relative, a family member that wrote a will and did not just write the will, but lodged the will in the court, because I've had cases of persons writing will, but they were not able to lodge it. Then they passed. That's a different issue entirely. So talking about someone who wrote the will and lodged it in the court, when that is being done at the demise of the person, what happens? So at the demise of the person, what comes to be is that the family of such a person would need to approach the court. But before I go on that issue, I want to talk about writing of will. Because so many persons, you hear them say they've written will, and you're asking, basic things are not being basic requirements are not met when you talk about writing a will. So I'll talk about writing a will in this video. Then in the next video, then we'll talk about probate proper. So what do you have to do if you need to write a will? Let's start. Who can write a will? Once you start working, I think you should consider writing a will. Once you have certain properties, assets to your name, I think you should start thinking of writing a will. Once you have responsibility, you have persons that are dependent on you, I think you should think of writing a will. And I would also say, if you're a man in a polygamous setting, I think you should consider writing a will. So having talked about that, when you want to write a will, what should come to place? Please get a lawyer. You need to get a lawyer to write a will. When you get a lawyer, you book sessions so that you have an inventory of your asset. You would let the lawyer know how you intend to distribute, how you intend to give aspect of your property to certain members of your family. This is key and important. And I'll be stopping in this video by saying that if you intend to give gifts to any of your family members before your demise, please do a deed of gift and include it in your will. It is very important. It is not good for people to pass on to the great beyond and they leave chaos behind. Selah.